Is this gonna, okay, so there's a thing going on with my computer. I have no idea what it is, but I keep getting booted off of StreamYard, so fingers crossed this works out. I got a DM, and thank you very much for whomever is sharing all these news stories. But this was about the upcoming Green Lantern story. We're going to go over the article and everything, but I thought it played into a bigger thing. I think it was actually Eric. He's going to be joining us in just a little bit. I got my title from him. Donna DC is dead. There's more SJW titles than not. So I thought, yeah, I want to talk about this Green Lantern coming up. I want to talk about the whole Sandman with Riley Rosmo coming in. I want to talk about the fact that they started this this new thing, this Dawn of DC, and then absolutely 100% just threw it aside for a what I've heard to be very mid-level to bad company crossover. And then the promise of the Dawn of the DC, which is going to bring back some good old-fashioned comic stories, has been left to the wayside so we could get just your natural everyday what identity politics and such from DC Comics. So I kind of figured we're going to get together here. We got to talk about what's going on and what we think. Obviously, I look forward to your comments as well. And if you haven't noticed, I'm stalling so Eric can jump on because he hasn't made it yet. But that's the way it's going. Now, I'm not saying everything from DC is bad or anything like that. I've actually enjoyed a few titles. The Shazam, the Superman has actually been surprisingly good, considering the Superboy, not John Kent Superman, Superboy has been not all that great. That being said, the Connor Kent Superboy I've enjoyed. So there is the good, there is the bad, and you take them both in there, you have the facts of life. I literally just opened a water bottle to take a drink and then didn't. So it's more than just is DC good, is DC bad. And it's kind of funny because I've made jokes about Wes over at Thinking Critical, and I don't even know Comic Perch's real name, but Comic Perch being my channel 5 years ago, 6 years ago. God bless them. They have finer instincts these days than I do. I stepped away from all that crap, and now I would usually read a story like this Green Lantern article and go, yeah, okay, it's business as usual. And I stopped having the edge. I stopped having the Englantine anger that would usually come from this. But when somebody shares it in the DMs, it makes me think, okay, well, this is something important. We should bring it up. But this is more than just one title. This is more than just our DC good, our DC bad. It's more of why are you continuing on this road? It can't, I'm not buying into the ESG score anymore. There's a lot of pushback on that. There's a lot of people that are going, well, wait a second, we're not making money following this social score. We're losing money. And I kid you not, this is the same argument I made 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Wes and Perch, God bless you for picking up the flag and running up the hill with it, because it's the same conversation we've had over and over again. They don't care. Tevia, how you doing? Matt's in the house. What's up, Jay? They don't truly care. It seems like. Obviously, I'm not a mind reader. I couldn't tell you if they did or didn't within any kind of 100% certainty. Obviously, we just got to look at what's going on. And they do not care about the reader anymore. I think it's, or at least they don't care about the reader of comics. I remember doing a video. I've got to find it. I'm going to start reposting all the old stuff. I'll even put reposts so I'm not hiding the fact, oh, look at this new video or anything like that. Some of you are new, so they would be new. But I did a video a long time ago because when I talked to CB Cebulski, I think it was him, or was it Tom Brevoort? One of the two. They said, no, there's this huge female audience. We want to capture this female audience. And my whole point is you're throwing away the old collectors for new collectors you don't even have yet. And this seemed to be a-okay with them. And I think that is what kind of happens. You get these writers who I don't think they've come from a place of loving comics. They came from a place of, well, we want to write. Okay, we're writing these, what do you call them? The vlog things or online books, or these, like Gabby Rivera wrote a book for her Amazon thing. And I guess it was somewhat successful. And she got America Chavez and created perfection in badness. I mean, it is the greatest bad book I have ever read. Me and Eric both, when he comes on, he can actually back this up. The America Chavez book is possibly, it is the Rocky Horror Picture Show of comics. It is incredible. I love it. It may be because we've talked ourselves into this, but I absolutely love how bad Gabby Rivera wrote that thing. But that's the problem. We're not getting people like the ones that I grew up with. I know I'm an old man and we say this kind of thing a lot. In my day, but the truth is, in my day, that's what happened. You had your Mark Wades. Whether or not you like him now, he's a good writer. Horrible person, maybe, but he's a good writer. He loved comics. John Byrne, classic asshole, but he loved comics. He loved the medium. And that's where we got the creators that I grew up with. We got them from a pool of comic book fans. People who saw and went, hey, you know what, we can, this is literally the medium you can do everything with. And unfortunately, that didn't carry over into modern day. In the modern day, it seemed more like, hey, you know what, if we write a script for comics, maybe they'll use it for the movies. Hello to, hey, you got to show off the queen. By the way, God bless you for showing off that last issue too. That's the reason why it's the hardest to find. It's actually out there, you know. Hello to Ahsoka, and go ahead.
No, so that headline seemed kind of familiar. The more SJWs than not.
Yeah, I confessed that I got it from you. No. Do not shit on my Storm statue, okay, Eric? Don't do it. Yeah, he landed right on Storm, and I'm like, nope. This is weird. But yes, I fully admit it. I got it. I don't know who shared the Green Lantern article. Thank you for that. If you guys shared in the DMs, or if you tweet me this story or something, obviously it's going to be something I understand we need to talk about. Speaking of perch, this bird will not perch. He has been climbing over me like I'm a jungle gym, and it's getting a little tiresome. Go on. Okay, there you go. More or less being the child of Gaia, you know, the mother to Zeus, Titans. What are we talking about? Okay, you're talking about a villain you've got. I profoundly dislike Grant Morrison, but the dude loves comics, and that's what I'm talking about. We do not get that these days at all. I truly believe that they are. Will you please stop? Here you go. Okay, go. There you go. Gail wants you more today. Oy vey. Okay, so I figure you might have I lost Breen.
No, I just had to stuff myself silly, and I'm looking for a lighter to fire up a smoky treat, and I can't find that either.
Oh, you don't have to hide. We're adults. You don't have to hide your smoking. Let's see. I personally love Jeremy Adams' Green Lantern, and he loves comics.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, like I said, this isn't about. This is. I want to make this live stream a little bit more about the overall, because yes, I think there are good, there are bad, but as Eric said, there's more bad than good these days. I like the Shazam. I like the Action Comics. The Green Lantern was fine. Green Arrow was freaking excellent. Recently, though, we've got the Hawk Girl. Or Hawk Woman. Oh, I still have to do a bad comic beat down of this. And we got the Power Girl. We got the Fire and Ice. And it just seems to be going downhill. And even when they have great ideas, and you have stuff like you have this. I swear, you got the Sandman coming up, and he's being drawn by Riley Rosmo. Why don't the people who are in charge are old enough? They're my age. They know what quality is. Why look at that Steven Universe shit and go, we want that in our DC Comics? Why? It's just, it doesn't work. Why look at a character like the Sandman and think Riley Rosmo's Bindi art is good for it? Look, I don't mind that. My daughter actually kind of does the Bindi arm things, and it looks great. You guys have seen her art, but I wouldn't, if she wanted a job on a comic book, I would not put her on Sandman because that's a different style. You want a different style, and they don't seem to know how to match art with character anymore. And they just go, well, okay, you're open, you're free, come on in. And it doesn't quite work.
But I think part of also the audience that they've been going after for the last 10 years likes that kind of art, and which suits them, their purposes, because it's cheaper to hire.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
I read a really nice, really neat little book yesterday called, so neat, I can't remember the title. The Midnight Show. It's Colin Bunn. And it's basically about this guy that this horror movie actor, and he finally gets to, they finally released this movie he made 50 years ago, and apparently it was lost, and I think he might have died making it or something. And all the monsters from the movie escape into this small town in real life. And of course, yeah, it's kind of cliched from there. A ragtag group of kids that looks like a Benetton ad have to save the day, but it's got Tumblr art. It's like Jesus. It's like, at least it's only $4, which tells you it didn't come from Marvel, at least not in December.
Yeah, I saw the title of Wes's. I'm to the point where I am getting back into this kind of stuff, so I stopped watching Wes's channel. Not because I don't like him. I'm a fan, but until you talk about a subject, sometimes you don't want to go into it because you might end up, you don't want to crib.
You may want to tune in Tuesday or Wednesday.
You get to jump on. Actually, I wouldn't mind being on a show myself. I would love to have a conversation with him. But that's the way it is. Sometimes though, when you watch another channel, you go, yeah, great idea, but you missed this. So let me talk about it. Yeah. So it can actually be inspiring.
Oh, I miss a lot of things, but I'm gonna unleash a Doc level of F-bombs for the first time ever, I think.
Okay, what's the subject?
Oh, this.
Oh, okay.
The Green Lantern. As soon as I saw, I read the article, and I said, because when I was on the Aficionados last Saturday, I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another video down the road, and if I come up with something that may be in my wheelhouse. I saw that, and I had a Phineas moment. I know what I'm going to do today.
Oh, there you go. Actually, this was geared up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had one of those days. I don't know if you guys do this, but I woke up at around 3 or 4 and I was wide freaking awake. And I got a video that I just posted on From the Long Box done. And I did this other one. I edited another one I'm going to put on later. And then I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I got to talk about that Green Lantern thing. And I set it up to just be me. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I was going to go at 6, and I was like, shit, my back hurts. So let me stretch out and lay down a little bit. Lay down, out. So here we are live streaming it, but it's okay. You guys have something to listen to while you're working and such like that. Okay, so you mentioned, obviously, this title is yours. Donna DC is dead. More SJW titles than not. Example it.
Okay. Look at all the Gal Pal books that are being written by talentless, let's be honest, diversity hires. Whether it's Fire and Ice, Hawk Girl, Power Girl, the Gotham War, half of the Gotham War, and and Wonder Woman. All written by women that aren't very talented. Oh, wait a minute.
And Birds of Prey.
No, I'm not going to change that. Oh, has that even come out yet?
Birds of Prey, yeah, number 1. I think it's on issue number 2 now this week. So
wow,
I'm
gonna
try to review them. I've got a review coming out from the long box of the first 4 chapters or 5 chapters of the Gotham War. I also have been asked, please continue the reading. So at some point I'll stop being lazy and I'll do that as well. I guess I'm gonna have to do two of them a day sometimes. But I got a question for you. Because we did do a live reading of Fire and Ice. It blows horribly. It is so bad. It blows with teeth. But I got to ask, because we flashed you flashed the America Chavez. You and I really, truly believe that is such a fun, bad book. Will there ever be another America Chavez, or has that ship passed? I mean, obviously, all the identity politics, all the bad writing, all the bad art, but can we see like Fire and Ice be an America Chavez style bad comic book? Or Hawk Woman or something like that?
No, because here's the difference. America had its 12 issues, and then it was pretty much forgotten. Mm-hmm. Fire and Ice is under the Dawn of DC umbrella. So theoretically, that's in the same universe with the Action Comics, the Superman, the Batman, Detective Comics, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Flash. Yeah. And that they will let these people just kill characters. Like the last issue of Hawkgirl. Batman is in a cave with them, holding a lantern for them. Superman shows up in all these books to lecture, then get lectured.
Very nice.
And so they kind of have, as much consequences as you can have in a comic book in 2023. These books have consequences. America didn't. That was done at the peak of SJW Marvel, and nobody's paying attention. And if I can paraphrase Dalton, curse the comic book industry for making me use the term SJW again. I thought we left that in 2017.
Yeah,
apparently 2017 is back with a vengeance.
That's why I think I'm just going to start reposting all those old videos. It seems like it fits,
The pros are running their mouths again. Yeah, although there's occasionally, apparently, Gail Simone has gained some form of self-awareness and posted something, top 5 things that are wrong with modern comics. And wow, we were saying
that's its own topic.
Yeah, we were saying that 6 years ago and getting killed for it. But again, I guess it depends on the vessel, whether or not it's accepted.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like I said, in order for us to, and I hate to get political, but at the last election, the last presidential election, I said, you and I have seen our last fair and free election, because it's not going to take a Republican. We need Democrats to go, wait a second, guys, we're doing wrong here. And that will never happen in our lifetime. And I think the same thing. Sure, we're seeing a lot of the, not a lot, but we are seeing some who are comic book creators who are standing up and going, guys, I think I think we're the bad guys here. But they're going to get knocked down. They're going to get knocked down until somebody actually says, you know what that person's saying is kind of right. Go on ahead, man.
Are they going to get back up again?
Say again?
Are they going to get back up again? You said they're going to get knocked down.
They get knocked down and they're going to get back to. Oh my gosh! All right. So anyhow, Matt's saying the audience I
blame the dentist. You had a chance, dentist.
I know, right? Where's Steve Martin when you need him?
Actually, it was Steve Martin. I was Bill Murray, man. I was loving it.
The audience says, Matt, they likes art style, but the audience doesn't want the stories they can tell, and that, of course, is something we'd seen even 5 years ago when I first made that video. The people they're going for want manga. They don't want these things, and nobody truly wants the okay, we have a 2-page open action scene. Then we have 18 pages of them sitting around having coffee. And then we have a 2-page action scene at the end where it sets up next issue's 2-page action scene. And that's the modern storytelling thing. You know, that's how it's been going. It's and look, I appreciate character. I really do. Take some time out. But and I'm going to say it again. In our day, the character would come during the action. We would actually get dialogue that says stuff about the people. I was as soon as I said it, I was thinking it. Yeah, I'm glad you called me out on that one. But we used to get character and action at the same time. Nowadays, sometimes you don't even get character. You just get rambling while they're drinking coffee. But,
yeah, back when Marvel had a stupid idea to have Marvel had some stupid ideas back in the day to have Steve become a cop, but it was very short-lived. He didn't stay a cop and have somebody take over. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, if they made Steve become a police officer, he would quit being Captain America and he would just say, "Well, it's not my problem. I'm a cop now." You know, and then he'd be defunded.
All right, so this all, by the way, stemmed from this article right here.
I know it's not. You guys talking about the DC stuff?
Once again, I think, was it Jay? I'm gonna guess it was.
Is he freezing or am I freezing?
Okay, did it's me? All right.
Okay.
No, it's me. My StreamYard is acting really bad to me today. Yeah. It might be the fact that I just.
Yeah. I just want to say real quickly, supposedly Marvel is raising their prices up. The bottom line is going to be $4.99, no matter what book it is. No.
Yeah. So I saw that coming anyway.
I'm going to be dropping Marvel, and then soon. I only have Moon Knight, and I think Guardians. And Moon Knight's okay. I'll wait. I mean, if I have to, I'll pirate it. I don't give a shit anymore.
I saw that coming a long time ago. DC is going to do the same thing. Yeah. It's not just a Marvel thing. All right, so this is the article. Thank you for shared it out. New Green Lantern series redefines history of Alan Scott. Where did I put my glasses here so I can actually read through this? It says the first preview of the new Green Lantern series unveils a new backstory for Alan Scott. This new history is necessary given the recent revelation that Scott was actually a closeted gay man. Not recent. It actually came out when, in the 2000 or late 90s, early 2000s?
New 52.
Is it a preview or is this?
Was it New 52? Okay.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be an Alan Scott of the Earth thing they had. I can't remember the name of the title.
Convergence.
But no, it was before that. Society. It was yeah, that one. But
okay,
as we all know, if they retcon a character's sexuality in one universe, if it's straight to gay, it's
who's
all
writing this?
Universes.
It's all universes, yeah.
So
it says, let me read this off here. Let's see which the new series seems likely to address. However, the preview also sets up some major changes, and it shows him talking to, I believe, the president. And these, I'll give you a hint. Its initials are JSA. Did you really call me back to DC to talk about your super squad and the Justice Society of America, of which you're a member of? No, which makes me wonder. Okay, so Green Lantern's saying the thing about Super Squad. I agreed to let you put my name on the masthead, yes, but as your questionably obtained photos show, I work better alone. And then the president says, is that a fact? And he drops these photos, and it's him. So that's what they've decided to add.
That's
to it.
Hoover.
The story goes, most origin stories of the. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's J. Edgar Hoover, who apparently,
who, by the way, right. Also, we're having a little get together in the Forest Hills this weekend. You'll come. Clyde will give you the details on your way out. And Alan, bring the combat boots. Because J. Edgar Hoover had been known to be gay. Most origin stories of the JSA unite the heroes in the heat of battle. One account in the Secret Origins number 31 suggests the team was gathered by Dr. Fate to stop Germany from bombing the United States. The opening pages of Alan Scott, the Green Lantern story, by Tim Sheridan and Sion Torme tell a different story. Here, the JSA seems to be a propaganda machine for the American war effort. Additionally, Green Lantern had to be forced to lend his celebrity to the team. The preview shows Alan Scott meeting the FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover. Scott is happy to lend his name to promote Justice Society, but unwilling to work alongside other superheroes in the field. Hoover tries to bring him to heel, pointing out the publicity value of America's mystery men working together. And beyond forcing Scott to be part of the JSA, it's also implied that J. Edgar Hoover forced himself on Green Lantern sexually when Scott is reluctant to continue working with the JSA. Okay. One thing that I've mentioned before is, anytime they make a character, you could, and if you've ever read the Tim Drake series, you know this to be 100% true. Whenever they turn a character gay, whenever they let a woman write a woman, or nowadays if they publish a black character, all those characters are gay, a woman, or black. That's it. There's no three dimensions. You are exact, and it's not even a full-fledged character. It's not even a person who has a soul, a family, an inner story to tell. They are just the superficial attributes that a DC comic book writer or a Marvel comic writer see them as. So if you get, say, Teenie Howard and she's writing a woman, it's the superficial version, which is something because she's a woman. You would think they would lend some depth, lend some weight to the characters, but they are absolutely two-dimensional. He pauses for anybody to say anything if they want to.
We're allowed to?
Yeah, you let me know when I'm allowed to speak.
Go on ahead, Eric.
Is 27 minutes sufficient time?
Go. Yeah.
I hope you see this, Tim Sheridan. And if you don't see this, I hope you see something next week. Fuck you.
Hope you see this,
Tim Sheridan. And fuck DC Comics for letting a talentless hack tarnish the image of a team that has been around for 85 fucking years.
Just because they're anti-patriot.
Just because, as I said, I know there are no editors at DC, because whenever we look those up on Tuesdays, they're always, 24-year-old fluff piece, or some soy boy that's probably never written a comic book, probably never read one. But this, like I said, the Fire and Ice book shits all over everything that came before it. Yeah. Power Girl. It poops all over everything that came before it. Hawk Girl, enough said. But this goes back to the 40s. And to basically say that it was just a propaganda arm for the U.S. government, and that I'm sure at some point they were the bad guys too, when it's all said and done, the only virtuous one of the group will be Alan Scott, and we all know why. Yeah, there's been speculation that J. Edgar Hoover was gay. No definitive proof that I'm aware of. And I hope his family sues the fuck out of him for defamation of character. Like I said, comics are broken. I've been screaming this for 7 years, and you were always quick to shoot me down 7 years ago. I don't hear you doing that in 2023. This industry is dead as we know it. I'm done.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whether it's Marvel or DC, it's the same stupid writers getting the same stories out under different titles. They just relaunched the book. It gets canceled. WandaVision just recently got canceled after 10 issues. It's relaunching in a couple months under a different title with the same writer. It's Steve Orlando, who sucked over at DC, is sucking even harder over in Marvel. And
speaking of phrasing,
I know, but I mean, but look at this. I'm shocked that Megan Fitzmartin doesn't have 10 more books already.
It's because she doesn't want them. She did her damage and got out.
Well, I mean, maybe you're going to see these writers leave because the strike's over. Now they can go right over at the other places and get paid more money.
Who the fuck would take them? Did you see what the writer of Fire and Ice proposed for a Lobo series?
Did not.
He weaponizes his farts.
Wait,
I don't know if that's a joke. That's how far we've fallen.
Wow. that actually happens in a comic book,
That's a pitch.
or was it? Did she write it on a tweet?
I would say he weaponized.
It was a tweet or something that somebody found and posted.
If you want to make Lobo even more cringe, just have him force his enemies to read his old 90s comic series.
Now, well, yeah, in the 90s, people liked him.
I know.
Now, I will say it's probably still better than Emo Lobo. Every time I say that, I almost say Emu Limu.
Emu.
Yeah, emo. It is hard to say, but yeah,
oh, look, a beep.
The new 2 Lobo was an insult to the character as well. I mean, that's almost like a sign of things to come. Not very well received.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Or just call him Crush's dad, because he's no longer relevant anymore.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's just the father of a LGBTQ character, and yeah, and that's. And
then Mark Waid come up with this stupid thing because the other day and saying how he's glad that Clark's parents are dead. You know, you shut down Superman.
Yeah, that was It's he says that having the parents alive infantilizes Superman. I'm like, there is a decade and a half worth of awesome comics that prove you freaking wrong.
That Jeff Johns, and Richard Donner did away with.
Yeah.
That was their goal from the late 90s, and they achieved it by about 2005. Every vestige of Byrne, Wolfman, Stearns, Superman was gone.
Oh, Matt, I understood exactly what Eric was fired up, and he took 2 pot shots at me. 1, the fact that it took 27 minutes for me to let Eric go, and 2, the fact that when he first jumped on, I was very much a person who believes, look, there's good stuff in the industry. There really is. And I was like that. I'm less so like that nowadays. But I was very much, you don't have to read, I don't even remember you don't have to read America Chavez when like Shirtless Bear Fighters out there, or something good, something fun, something old fashioned. And that would be my response a lot before Eric joined. This is, I think, before you joined up on the team here.
I'm just disappointed with DC
a little bit after, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but he took 2 shots at me, and that was one, and the other one was
they weren't shots. It was just basically like, time capsule.
No, we're friends. I don't mind I don't mind a jab, so it's okay.
Yeah, so DC already pissed me off again, canceled another book that I was reading, another Batman title. Before it was Batman Beyond, and then now they're canceling the Batman Adventures Continue. I mean, it's I'm down to Ram V. I'm Detective, and after he's gone,
good. They can't have too many good Batman titles.
Well, it made Gotham more look like no one was reading it.
Okay, I gotta tell you, I am going later, probably around 9ish, 8ish tonight. I'll be releasing a review of the first 4 or 5 chapters of the Batman Gotham War. There was actually a decent chapter. So
was that one in between?
But it actually released. Yeah, it was a Catwoman issue, but there you go. What the live stream early in the day? Yep, Doc Kina. Occasionally it does happen. And Wade is having a go at Dan Didio. Yeah, I saw the big pile up. I thought about talking about it, but it's kind of weird because there's not, in my opinion, there's not a lot of meat on the bone there.
Here's the problem. I'm sorry.
I'll go to Eric first.
No, it's interesting. Now, we all know why Wade is going at Didio, because Didio had the audacity to speak to one of the bad guys, but it wasn't Didio, it was Bob Harris, and everybody knows that. Is that name so irrelevant now that you just had to bypass him and go straight to the top? And Bob Harris said, as long as I'm DC, you will never work here. Wade did not get asked back after Didio was gone. It was after Harris, his position was dissolved, and then the new people, it was almost overnight. Wade was back.
Well, the other thing is that Wade complaining about blacklisting. Wow, I wonder how people like Chuck Dixon feel about that.
What about Richard Meyer?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously. I mean, you know, look up self-awareness in the dictionary, dumbass.
You're saying that to Wade, not
Mark
Venkman.
Wade, not Venkman, in case
Okay,
he's so doped
okay,
up he
yeah.
can't differentiate at the moment.
it's all we know
Which
is it's
hopefully,
Hawaiian.
with what you had
All the
done
drugs
today,
are
you
in the
are.
Hawaiian Punch right now.
Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch? Sure.
It's
You know,
the
they need
best
to bring
ever,
back
man.
those people need to get punched in the eye and thrown into pools in commercials more. Let's bring that kind of level of violence in everyday TV.
There's two
It
different
needs
kinds of
to
Hawaiian
do that
punch.
again.
Bring back bullying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, bullying never went away. It's just on
No,
a political
you
level
gotta.
now.
It just went
changed.
online. Bring you know, non-weapon related, but bring back physical bullying.
Oh,
It turned out a lot
Yeah,
more well-adjusted
that's the
people.
problem.
Speaking of bullying, apparently
so-
Candace Owens. I was just real quickly. Candace Owens, everybody knows she's like heavily pregnant. She was speaking something, and somebody tried to challenge her, and she basically just sit your ass down, basically. I'm pregnant. I don't have time for this shit. So I thought that was
she's
funny.
too pregnant to deal with it. I saw that clip. Yeah, she was asking about what it was. Is somebody asked her about what would you say to the people who are triggered by your presence here? Life's hard. Get a helmet. I wouldn't say anything to them. They're too freaking pathetic. It's like the people who would see a title, and this has happened more than once to me. I've had to change my titles because I use words I'm not allowed to on YouTube. I don't say the beer bug. I say it's COVID because it's COVID. And yeah, YouTube doesn't like it. You know, if I'm talking
YouTube
about
doesn't like things.
the gay community, I'll talk about the gay community. I'm not going to use 100 different letters. I'm sorry, I'm not. But to me, those people they're just a bunch of pussies. I'm sorry. Look, people are going to say things. You don't like what I have to say, don't watch the video. You don't like my politics, don't buy my book. You know, if you do, or if you think it's engaging enough where, okay, let's have a conversation or say something in the chat, fine. But to flag a video because, oh my gosh, they're talking about something that, oh, I'm triggered. Shut the fuck up. Sit down. Adults are talking about comics.
These people want to get rid of free speech. It should go over to Germany. They'll have none.
To circle back to the original point, who is going to simp for this title? Or let alone buy it. I mean, this thing is going to sell.
I don't know any gay people that are excited about it. They're like fuck comics. We don't care shit about
Green
this.
Lantern is going to sell Tim Drake Robin level amounts. And I guess something else it appears I was right about. The message is more important than the money. It has been for years. It will continue to be so as long as there are comics. And when I said DC is dead, I meant to me, it will still be out there. They'll still be pushing this crap for a non-existent audience until there's nobody left but people that think like them, because they just have to outlast the rest of us.
So the big problem with this book is not the fact that, give me a moment, RDB.
Go ahead.
You're talking about
27 more
Green
minutes.
Lantern. You're talking about Green Lantern, but you're not talking about the right Green Lantern. This is not somebody that is known to the general audience. Alan Scott is known to us. It's known to the comic book readers, not to just random person who's going to get the SJW message. A lot of us older folk that have been reading comics that would go, oh, Alan Scott, let me pick this up. We aren't into the social politics. We're not into the identity politics that they're providing. And once again, Alan Scott has not been a three-dimensional character since this has been decided for him. He hasn't. Every freaking story has been one note all across the board. And I think he might have been the first that had been altered. Go on ahead, Venk.
The reason that I think they're choosing Alan Scott because they don't keep going away with their shit using Hal Jordan or Guy Gardner. They're too big of a fan base by everybody. Alan Scott is kind of nobody really knows about him. We've known they always push Hal, they push John. Alan has only been, unless you read 352, reading the JSA titles, you're not really going to know him because kids do not want to go back to the 1940s stuff. And the ones that do, where do you find it? You know, you have to sail the high seas to find that stuff. A lot of the Golden Age stuff.
You're close. The reason why it's Alan Scott is because of all the male JSA members, he has the most known heterosexual past. 2 wives, 2 children. By doing it to him, it serves 2 purposes. They get to retcon the sexuality of a character, and by golly, they get to piss off the right people by doing it. And don't think for a second that didn't go into the thinking, because it did.
Maybe they thought fans of Alan Scott are dead or in their 80s.
No. That's because he was, I was reading DC all through the 90s.
Yeah,
Sentinel was a big deal. He was in a ton of Green Lanterns, and then back to being Green Lantern in a JSA. They do this stuff for a reason, and it's I don't know. I think this, like I said, this might be a attempt to get the normies in, because I mean the normies, like I said, we know Jon Stewart from the cartoon, we know Hal Jordan from that failed movie. This is to them, it's a clean slate by bringing in a nobody, so no one can complain about his past. I don't recall Jade being gay, Yule. I know Todd is, and that's another thing.
Yeah, Jade's gay too, apparently.
Oh, she's gay now too?
Well, no, I guess she was gay a while back.
No, in Green Lantern, she was Kyle's girlfriend. When Kyle went off and spent too long in space, she put another man in Kyle's bed. So when he came back from space, that was his welcome home, which was really good writing, actually. It was, made her look pretty shitty, but what are you gonna do?
Was this before or after the fridging?
No, this was long after.
Okay, so basically she was.
This was in like Green Lantern, the issues in the 170s. Todd Winnick, who I think is a very good comic book writer, who's I guess doesn't write anymore, but because he knew how to write real people with real relationships because he'd had them. His handling of a gay character named Terry was beautifully done. You don't get that anymore.
I'm shocked that they didn't write him molesting his son, and that's why his son's gay.
But So one of the things, Obsidian was a gay character years before they were in vogue, and I think they turned him into a villain of sorts. And I don't know if any of the motivation was because his dad didn't understand him. Well, this kind of negates that. Also, I mean, that's.
I remember there was the early JSA issues. He had to go kill his stepdad when I used to beat him, I guess, in Milwaukee. And that's what he caused. Where he caused basically he was causing turning everybody in the shadow characters. I mean, perfect city. I mean, you got Milwaukee there, and you got Chicago right there. You know, if you're gonna destroy a city, because that's all it is, crime.
So we have a few books coming out, and they obviously, I think they're throwing up the red flags and everything. We had a few books come out that we thought were strong. Nowadays, it seems like it's almost split. You have the good books coming out, and then they did Night Terror, and now all the bad books are coming out. It's like there was a creative shift when they were doing that crossover, which I thought, and this is going to go along with the whole thing about the Dawn of DC being dead. You don't do a freaking multi-title crossover in the middle of a relaunch, which this was kind of supposed to be. And that's what they did, killing momentum on everything. And as you said, Eric, proving to you that you don't need to read any of those titles. You stop. You're good.
Who's steering the ship? I mean, what and now they've got people like Jim Lee for say, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. But there's nobody there, and they don't care.
It's just, like I said, it's history repeating itself. They did this with New 52, pissed off a lot of fans. They had to revert back to Rebirth because the fans were pissed off, and then they fucked that up again. Now they're like, oh, Dawn of DC, let's bring some other stuff out, and they already fucked it up again.
Well, but DC, they didn't launch an event that interrupted the 52 new 52 books 2 months after they launched New 52.
Sure. So they made it work.
It would have been like,
isn't as big. I mean, this isn't as big as
go ahead, Eric.
New 52 or Rebirth, but still, it is a huge miscalculation on their part.
Yeah, absolutely. They could have done the whole thing as a mini series, or so. They didn't have to stop the continuity, because once they did that, there is no momentum. I actually forgot what was going on in a lot of the books. I remember reading Shazam 1 and 2, but by the time this month, Shazam number 3, or last month, Shazam number 3, they just released number 4. It's like, okay, what was happening again? Do I want to go out and spend my money on a book that I forgot all about?
So current bad titles, Catwoman, Batman's going that way with Chip Zdarsky, showing that how much an idiot he is. He's already fucked that up. Then we have Green Lantern, which is coming out, this one. Which I thought was a mini-series, but even so. What's the other one we have? It's out, Birds of Prey. Then I thought there was another one, Hawk Girl. So it's at least about 5 titles that are just bad. And
Did you say Power Girl?
6.
Oh my
gosh!
Say
Wonder Woman?
Read,
7.
Did you see where
I just read that Power Girl was horrible?
Did you see where the off-putting, better than everybody daughter of Wonder Woman is getting her own book in January?
It's gonna be 8.
Because it's funny how they create one character in the last 5 years that, well, I'm just gonna straight fans actually liked a little bit in Yara Flor. They can't sweep her far enough under the rug at this point.
I know, right? I wasn't a huge fan. I thought it was okay of her series, but it wasn't that bad. DC, they just said, you know what? Nope. She had the look. She had a story that wasn't as annoying as, say, Ms. Marvel. She was written at least okay. This Wonder Woman, I read the preview to it. She's obnoxious right out of the gate. And one of the things any comic book writer they need to stop doing is, I'm good because I'm better than you, person who's been around for 60 years. Having Superboy tell his dad that he hasn't done enough for the world. Like, fuck you, Tom King, or whoever. I think it was Tom Taylor at the time.
Yeah.
I think Eric and I agree.
If he's saying that, Tom, you're good.
Eric, would you agree? If he's saying that he's better than him, he at least has to have a scarf over. Baby.
Yes.
Put a little MJF.
Yeah. How are you going to have anybody say to Superman, you haven't done enough for the world?
So current titles, for me, that I've been enjoying, it's been the Superman. We got Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and Detective Comics.
Batman and Robin wasn't bad.
It was okay. It's not great.
Yeah, I read Action Comics this week or a couple weeks ago, and in my humble opinion, the Mag story was not the worst of the 3. That honor would go to the Philip Kennedy Johnson one because it was very. It was. How dare you not be accepting of open borders? Only they just did it, on a grander scale.
Yeah, and then the Justice Society America has been kind of for Jeff Johns.
I haven't read the last few. Justice Society is one of the only books that
the last one was better. The last issue was better, but it was nothing compared to the Stargirl one.
Yeah, World's Finest is worth getting, even though I told you didn't have to qualify that anymore, but now you do. Even though Wade's a dick.
Thank you. I forgot about Shazam. Shazam's fun too. So, it's like on one side you got Mufasa and Simba saying like, "What the hell's over there?" We don't go to that side. That's the side of DC Comics you don't read.
Yeah, you see that dark side over there. That town is called Teeny Howard. We don't go there.
Teeny Town.
Teeny Town. Yes, there you go. Anywho, guys,
better than T-Town.
Yeah. I don't know. End on a positive note. What are you reading? Like, what's good?
Well, read the current Shazam came out yesterday. That was fun. Read the final issue of Batman. The animated adventures continue. Ended on a high note. Very fun story. And what if you don't know is that Paul Dini and Ty Templeton have been trying to get this that story out for 30 years. They finally were allowed to finish their story for that series. So it wrapped up nicely. It just sucks because I will not have that perfect version of Batman anymore. Ram V is all right, but I mean,
are they not doing like season by season?
That series is over. They're done. It was canceled. They canceled it. It sucks because I'm going to stuck with Batman Fortress #3 probably, or I have to read Chip Zdarsky. Like I said, once Ram V's off the detective, I am just not gonna. I'll probably drop it again. I mean, honestly, I wasn't reading Batman until after Tom King left. That's when I started reading Batman. I was fine before that, but
even before it was cool, I was saying that Tom King is hit and miss at best on Batman. But
like I said, I'm going more indie stuff. Getting into more. The one you should be reading is Enfield Gang Massacre.
Yes,
that is probably the best book out there now. If you like westerns, and you like vengeful Texas Rangers out for blood,
I'll check that out because I do like
it's
westerns.
By Ed Brubaker Jr. and Sean Phillips' kid,
Chris Corden, I think his name is right.
He might as well be Ed Brubaker Jr. That's what he's trying to be. So, and I'm sure Ed's taught him some stuff. So that's
big game. It's been cool. Yep.
All righty. Well, it's been about an hour, so thank you very much for hanging out with us. This is I certainly appreciate whoever shared this story because it seems like this is just the same thing over and over and over. As Cartoon and Comics saying, DC and Marvel forget nothing but learn nothing. They want the Whisper Network to continue, and they want revenge for we proof people still. So they learn nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow. It is just
is upset. Well, as I will get when Fire and Ice are scissoring at the end of that series. At least that only screws up 30-something years, and God knows they've done so much damage to the Bwahaha era. It doesn't matter anymore. But doing what they're letting this guy do, what he's doing to not just Alan Scott, but the JSA in real life historical figures. That's just seriously why it's going to be. I mean, that's something to think about. I mean, I didn't buy a single DC or Marvel this week, and I'm going to have to think about that because I said this company absolutely hates us, and the other side is winning again. So
we have the back issues.
Yeah,
and in all honesty, I don't want to call us anything, but we need the we need the solidarity, if not the name.
My shop,
we need the people saying, "Hey, look, DC, Marvel, this is wrong." I don't think they'll listen this time. They did the last time, and then we all dropped the ball. No, we didn't drop the ball. We had the ball stolen from us. But we need that kind of thing. We need the consumers, the few consumers that are left on comic books to say, hey, look, this is shitty. But something that I had said way back then has come to pass. Remember, I mentioned All New, All Different started in 2013. The whole SJW thing really started in 2013. And I said, we're going to lose this battle because the kids that are coming up, the 12-year-olds that started reading in 2013, they're now 20-somethings, and they've got buying power. And all they have known is social justice warrior. All they've known is woke. And some of them have embraced it. Thankfully, a lot of them haven't. But we just aren't the we aren't the desired hobby anymore. So I don't see a silver lining to this dark cloud, in all honesty. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of them are waking up and realizing that if you don't have if you decide to think outside the group and see how they turn to you, there's a reason why you don't join cults.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, once again, guys, thanks. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have the last word.
Speaking of back issue, I'll be quick. Venkman, I got something to show tonight that I think you're going to like. 2 years ago, Venkman might not have, but I think 2023 Venkman will.
I might actually join in since I've read some new books. So
sweet. Speaking of which, click on the channel, Kiki Puppet Show. It's in the chat right now. Click on that. And you'll go on there, click for live. You'll find out that we're going live at 8 p.m. Central tonight on that channel. Breen's going to be with me. Zach will as well. So bring your apples. And then, Angleton, you're more than welcome to join us.
All right. I've actually, like I said, I've actually read, even if I'm only talking about Gotham War, I read some modern day comics finally.
That's okay. Well,
you know what I found out by reading modern day comics?
Back issues are great.
I love back issues are fucking awesome. Yeah. Okay, kids. Thanks for hanging out with us. I mean it this time. Join Venkman tonight. Hopefully I'll show up as well at the Geeky Puppet Show, 8 p.m. Central, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, right? All righty. And otherwise, guys, please, if you haven't yet, hit that notification bell. Make it say all. You don't want to miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts. And if you don't mind helping out the channel another way, I've got a tip jar over on Ko-Fi, as well as I'm going to be bringing back the commissioned videos. So please check that out. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good afternoon.
Good night, kids. Good afternoon, kids.
Okay.